Hey everyone, let's talk about the interactive card project. If it feels a little daunting, don't worry. We're going to break it all down, step by step, and turn this big project into something simple, fun, and totally doable.
First, just take a look at this. See those balloons in that present? They aren't just sitting there. This is a finished, interactive program. Things on the screen can move, they can react, and that's exactly what you're about to build. It's not just a picture, it's a whole experience.
Sia, the big question is, how do you get from a totally blank screen to that? It can seem like a massive jump, right? But I promise there's a clear path to get you there.
And here is that path, our roadmap. We'll start with what this thing even is, then we'll walk through a 4-step game plan that pretty much all developers use. Define, prepare, try, and reflect. So, let's get into it.
First things first, what in the world is an interactive card? Well, at its core, it's just a digital card that you get to design and code yourself, all to share with someone you care about. It's personal, it's creative, and yeah, it's interactive.
And while you're making it, you're going to be showing off some seriously cool coding skills. You'll be using sprites. Think of them like digital puppets you can control. You'll make your card respond when a user presses a key. All of this happens inside something called the draw loop, which is what makes animation possible. And you'll use variables and the counter pattern to create that awesome motion.
Okay, now for the secret sauce to tackling this, or really any creative coding project. It's your 4-step game plan. Now, this isn't just some random workflow we made up. This is the official problem-solving process. It's a map that professional developers use everywhere to turn a big idea into a real working program. As you can see, it's a cycle. You define your idea, you prepare a plan, you try to build it, and then you reflect on what you made.
So let's jump right into that first part of the cycle. Step 1, define your idea. Every amazing app, every cool game, it all starts with just one simple idea. And to get that idea, you just have to answer a few basic questions. First, who is this for? Thinking about them will make it way more special. Second, what's it going to look like? Just picture it in your head. And the big one, how will someone actually interact with it? Are they going to press a key, click the mouse?
Once you've got that idea buzzing, it's time for step 2, prepare the blueprint. This is where you map everything out before you write a single line of code. And trust me, this step is a lifesaver. It saves so much time later on. And you've got the perfect tool for this, your planning guide. Use it to actually sketch out your scene. Go for it. Where are the sprites going to go? What sprites do you even need? Then you can start thinking about the logic, those if statements that are going to make it all come alive.
Okay, with a solid plan in hand, we finally get to the really fun part. Step 3, try building it. Now's the time to open up that code editor and bring your blueprint to life.
But listen, the key here is not to try and do everything at once. That's a recipe for frustration. Just follow this simple checklist. First, just get the background set up. That's it. Once that looks good, add your sprites. Then, and only then, do you start adding the code for interactivity. Save all the finishing touches, like text or sound, for the very end.
Here's a little pro tip for you when you're adding those sprites. You want them to make a grand entrance, maybe fly in from the side? It's easy. Just start them off screen. If you want a sprite to fly in from the left, you can set its starting X position to a negative number, like -50. Then you just write a little code to slowly move it into view.
Here's another super useful one. What happens if you add a sprite and it's huge, taking up the whole screen? No problem. Just use sprite.scale. A scale of 1 is its normal size, so if you set it to something like 0.5, it'll be half the size. Just play around with it till it looks just right. Now, we've mentioned this word conditionals a few times. Let's make it super simple. For this project, a conditional is just an if statement. It's a bit of code that's always asking a question, like, hey, has the spacebar been pressed yet? And it will only run the code inside it if the answer is yes. This is the engine that drives all the interactive.
So how do you connect that if statement to actual movement? The counter pattern is your best friend. You put a line of code like sprite.x equals sprite.x plus 3 inside your if statement. What this does is tell the computer, hey, only add 3 to this sprite's x position when the right arrow key is being pressed. And just like that, you've created movement that the user can control.
Okay, we are on the home stretch. You've built your card, it's working. But we're not quite done. Step 4 is reflect and refine. This is where you really polish your project and turn it into something you're super proud of.
This final stage really has two parts. First up, get some feedback. Swap projects with a classmate. Getting a fresh set of eyes on your work is one of the best things you can do. Then, it's time for the final polish. Take that feedback, make some tweaks, and definitely check the project rubric to make sure you've nailed all the requirements. Give it one last look over.
So why do we follow all these steps? Because this process is what helps you tackle a big, challenging program. It forces you to get clear on what you're doing and helps you break a giant problem down into small, manageable pieces. It brings order to the chaos. So as you finish up, I want you to ask yourself this one last question. It's not just about what you built, but how you built it and the creative choices you made. What part of your creation are you most proud of? Take a moment to appreciate your work. You totally earned it. All right, happy coding?